Hi there, I'm Victoria Keating, co-owner and director of X Travel, a travel agency that has spent the past 18 months repatriating more than 1,000 people home, mostly from South America, but also from other parts of the globe, to be reunited with friends and family. If you haven't needed to travel within the past 18 months, you may not understand the complexities of travelling in a COVID environment, and the concept might be quite foreign to you. In 2020, as COVID cases began being reported around the globe, we began to close our borders to individual countries. First China, then Italy, then Israel, and then a blanket policy was issued, closing our border to every other country. With borders closed, no one was able to fly, which means that planes could not feasibly operate with so many empty seats. And air traffic around the globe stopped. To give you an idea of what this looks like, in September 2019, 1.365 million international passengers travelled through Sydney Airport. A year later, in September 2020, that number was drastically reduced to 3,400 international passengers. And now, a year later, when things should be easier and travel should be freer, that number is forecast at 3,000 international passengers in September 2021. These recent passenger numbers reflect what's been happening in Australia for over a year. Although there are plenty of airlines desperate to fly, extreme restrictions on passenger numbers mean that it's not financially viable to do so. It costs the same amount of money to fly a plane with 25 passengers as it does with 250. And because airlines need to recoup their costs, we start to see flight prices inflate. Right now, the average cost of flying to Australia from the area I've mostly been looking after, South America, is anywhere between $18,000 to $25,000. If you manage to get home for less than $4,000, you could say you got a bargain. If you're a family of four, though, still trying to get home, you're looking at paying in excess of $100,000, and that's before you get to the cost of your quarantine. It's not just lack of seats and prices, though, that make it difficult for people to get home. Over the past 18 months, we have seen constant border closures, changing COVID test requirements, visa suspensions globally, people having fear of contracting the virus if they travel, and constant flight cancellations. For those who are lucky enough to get a ticket, you're even more lucky if you get to fly without cancellations. People I've spoken to have had 12 different flights cancel. Sometimes the airline will refund you, sometimes they will keep your money in credit. Most times they will try and rebook you. Right now, if you're cancelled on any of the recent airline cancellations into Australia, major carriers are advising that they will be unlikely to get you home before January or February 2022 if current restrictions remain in place. Once you do manage to secure a seat, you can then start the process of packing up your life, selling your possessions, quitting your job, disconnecting your power, handing in your keys, and saying goodbye to friends and family. So what then do you do if you turn up at the airport with all of your worldly possessions in a bag or on your back, to be told when you go to check in that you've been bumped or that your flight has been cancelled altogether and you can't fly for another 4 or 5 months? Where do you go? What do you do? This is a very real situation being experienced by thousands of people each week trying to get home. And what makes it worse is that not everybody understands this. We're told, you've had plenty of time to get home already. There are flights landing every day with lots of empty seats. You're not actually welcome to come home with the virus. And a myriad of other rather uninformed suggestions. To those of you who hear this, I say hang in there. You're doing really well, doing the best that you can. And to those of you who say these things, I say be kind. These people are doing their best to get home. They don't want to bring the virus. They just want to hug their family, walk along the beach they grew up on, see friends they went to school with, and reconnect with their roots. The emotional toll this virus is having on travellers is horrific, and there is no real sign of clarity yet. While there is the suggestion that high vaccination rates will be crucial to borders reopening, it won't be an opening of the floodgates. And for many, there is still no clarity on when they will be able to get home. Different states have different policies, and depending on where you are coming from, you may be just okay to walk on through, or you may still find that you need to spend 2 weeks in quarantine when you arrive, which will restrict arrival numbers so long as there is restriction on how many hotel beds exist. What needs to happen is better communication. Those who are stuck abroad and trying to get home might be able to get by if they know when they will be able to return. But a constant changing of policies and targets, waves of flight cancellations, backlash and vitriol from home, and uncertainty about the future is akin to a form of torture, and humans are not built for that sort of ambiguity. Clearer paths, details of which vaccines will be accepted, details of which countries will be red, amber or green, and some more clarity on what those colours mean for returning travellers will save a lot of further stress and heartache on people who are already quite heartbroken and really just want to get home. Hang in there. Thank you.